Hello Internet, this is Whispering Whim, bringing you yet another grocery haul today. And I must say, it's been a very trying month since I talked to you guys last. I've been busy with my business, which is a good thing. It's a good problem to have, but it does not stop the issue of me not having enough time for all the things. Right? And then my computer crashed, literally crashed. It fell off of the little stand that I had it on and broke up some components on the inside. Luckily, my guy was able to replace the hard drive into another computer, and we were very lucky that someone had just recently upgraded and had a similar model to my laptop, so it was an easy transfer. And then as soon as that happens, my car decides to die. Well, it hasn't died, but it started making a funny noise. And as I was driving it to the shop to diagnose the funny noise, the check engine light came on. And it's still at the shop now. I had to borrow my guy's car to do this on the small side grocery haul. And yeah, so now that's in the shop, and I just have a million things going on. But here I am doing the video anyways. Might be a little shorter than past videos. We'll see. It might still get up to the half an hour mark. We'll try. So that's my life update. And now it's time for the groceries. First up, we have something that's not edible. At least I don't think you would want to try to eat it. And that is some good old-fashioned sponges. These are the Greener Clean, so they're made with plant fiber and recycled plastic. So I don't have to feel so bad that I like to replace my sponges quite frequently. You know, I sanitize them, for like a month, and then it just, the grime. I don't know, man. They do say that's something you should replace pretty often anyway, so. Moving on, though, we have a very crinkly and originally upside down bag of kettle-cooked jalapeno chips. So this is the store brand, the Winco brand, and it's not too bad, honestly, because like the name brand for us, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I'm blanking on the brand name. The name brand that's around here also has a jalapeno chip, and my guy actually likes these ones better than the name brand. So that's a win in my book. Next up, we have a whole thing of onions that just so conveniently made this like little flower shape. They weren't shaped like that before. How weird. But yeah, onions are good for so many different cooking things. I don't think I have to explain that in too much detail here. And then we have a big old bag of rice. I make lots and lots of rice dishes, so it made sense to just buy the big pack. I was tempted to buy the smaller one just because we don't have a lot of pantry space in our poor little one-bedroom apartment, but rice is such an essential. I got the big one. And then we have some oil. This one is a blend of avocado, coconut, and safflower oil. I typically get my oil at Sam's Club, and it's a really good deal over there. But with me and my guy being down to one car, I had to really limit how many places I went to this week. So fingers crossed that gets fixed soon, but if it doesn't, I at least have enough oil to get through the rest of the month. And then we have some cornmeal. I don't know why, but I was in the mood to make some cornbread, so there we are, some cornmeal. And then we're gonna have flour everywhere. One of them didn't make it into this bag. But here is some all-purpose flour for general cooking needs. And somewhere else we'll find eventually the bread flour for making bread. You may recall, I think it was 2 hauls ago. I don't think it was last haul. I picked up one of these instant sourdough starter kits. So it's basically a yeast packet that has sourdough flavoring in it, or sourdough essence. I don't know how you want to describe it. On here it says make real sourdough without a starter. And okay, so I've made it and I actually enjoy it a lot. It's kind of it tastes like sourdough, right? But when you make it in a regular bread maker with the regular process, which is what this stuff actually recommends, they just say, because I went online to figure out more, and it's just like, swap it in with any other recipe you use yeast for. So I just made a generic white bread recipe with the sourdough starter yeast. And it's so interesting. So it makes a sourdough tasting bread, but the texture isn't chewy like sourdough. It's still kind of soft like a regular white bread. And the bread flour I buy is like unbleached and everything, so it kind of feels healthy-ish, but really tasty. And I'm obsessed with the stuff now. So I picked up 2 packets. We're going to be making lots of homemade, in the bread machine, fake sourdough bread. Because that's where I am in life. Next up, we have some seaweed snacks, a good little healthy snacky snack for me. And then we have some raspberry shortbread cookies. I just got 3 little packets of them. 1, 2, and 3 right there. This is something that I enjoy eating, and I found out that my guy is kind of ambivalent about eating the shortbread cookies. He finds them to be a bit dry, but I don't know, I enjoy them quite a bit. So I figured 3 little packs wouldn't be a huge temptation compared to some sweets that I might buy, right? And then we have some good old saltine crackers. I like eating plain saltines, much more than I should, because they're just like flour. But they also, in my opinion, make a very good crumb mixture for cube steak, which is why I bought a new box of them. I have some cube steak in the freezer already. I bought it on a separate grocery trip. And yeah, it's a little more, it's got, when you make it with the crackers, there's going to be bigger chunks. And I find that that texture complements the cube steak, in my opinion. And then this bag has a whole bunch of non-grocery items. I ended up buying quite a bit of household stuff on this trip. Again, because I couldn't stop at a different store for slightly cheaper medications and shampoos and stuff. So, first up, we have some multi-purpose solution. That's for my contact lenses. Fun fact about me wearing contacts, which I do, in case you didn't know. I think you can see the glasses in very, very old episodes. I do think I actually look better in glasses. Just the way the proportions of my face are, it actually kind of helps to have these little like frames right there. I look good in glasses, or better anyways. But counter to the normal process, I got contacts not for vanity. In fact, the opposite, because like I said, I think I look better in the glasses. But because A, I like having my peripheral vision, which you don't get a lot of with glasses. And B, when I make these videos, to really like, it's weird. It looks like I barely try because I have all this mess here and everything. But to make better videos, I have those lights that really shine brightly. on your face. And when I wear the glasses, it's kind of like, you know, you got a beacon, lighthouse beacon going. So yeah, I don't wear glasses even though I think I look good in them, which is, it always kind of cracks me up when I think about it. But moving on, we have some body wash. For a little while, I was using just bar soap because it's a little more eco-friendly. You know, it doesn't come in a plastic container, and I was getting them from a source that was, you know, pretty ethical about where they got their ingredients and stuff. But I found that bar soap just doesn't satisfy some of the cleanliness urges. I don't know how to explain it other than like it leaves my skin feeling kind of weird on occasion. And when I swim, because that's one of my favorite exercises to go swimming in the pool. It just, bar soap does not help me get the chlorine off. And I've been stealing my guy's body wash on those kinds of days. And I was like, you know what? I should just get my own body wash. Then I won't have to smell like my guy, which he smells good, but I don't need to smell like him. Speaking of my guy, he needed some new shampoo, and for him, the shampoo of choice is Head and Shoulders 2-in-1. So we got some of that, and we also got him some deodorant. And I was a little sad. So, like I said, the grocery store I shop at, Winco, that's the one I usually use. They don't have a huge selection on these kind of sundry type items, but they have some. So I normally shop for shampoos and deodorants and whatever, you know, Walmart or Walgreens or almost anywhere else. But I was limited on how many places I could go on the one day I was borrowing my guy's car. So they didn't have the scent that I usually associate with my guy. But this one's not bad. So it'll be interesting to see how that shift makes me feel, because a lot of people get attached to smells. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then we have some dishwasher cleaner. I'd say about 2 months ago, my dishwasher was starting to sort of leave kind of a swampy type smell on the dishes. And I did the home remedy for that, which is you run a load with baking soda. No, you run a load with vinegar first, and vinegar is the thing that helps sanitize. But then you run an empty load. Should specify that there. With baking soda. And you have to run 2 loads back to back because even though vinegar is good for sanitizing, it's actually kind of bad for all the little like rubber gaskets and things like that inside the dishwasher. Vinegar will break those down over time. So you have to run a load with baking soda after you do the vinegar load. And it works actually pretty decently well, but it's a bit of a hassle to run 2 loads before you add any dishes in there. You know, you forget it for an hour and then suddenly it's dinner time, and it's a mess. So even though the home remedy works, I do want to try this because it's a 1 load thing that's supposed to help unhygienic or stinky dishwasher. Hygienically cleans hidden grease and lime scale. So we're just going to give this a go, see how it goes. You know, if it doesn't work that great, then I'll go back to doing the more laborious process. But in the meantime, we'll see. And then along that same note here, the other guy I have in that bag is some garbage disposal cleaners. I've tried all sorts of different things for cleaning the garbage disposal. And forgive me, I gotta remove this headband. It doesn't want to stay. But I've done the home remedy, which is, lemon, grinding up lemon in your garbage disposal. And then I've tried some packets. I find that other brands of packets I've tried previously, they improve the smell like immediately, but then it almost gets more smelly. And I wonder if there's something in there that encourages sort of a repeat use cycle. This is a different brand, so we'll give it a go. And then for my listeners who are not United States based, do you have a garbage disposal? I am told that it's actually kind of a weird appliance for much of the world. Like they just don't get it. So if you've never heard of one, I'm sure you have at this point, but if you've never heard of one, here in the US, your sink typically has basically like a little meat grinder attached to it. So little food bits and stuff that you wash off your plates, you can grind it up and then send it down the drain. A lot of places instead, like a more, safe. Safe's not the word. Well, some people would think of it safe, but a less mechanical option would just to be put a strainer basket down there in the sink. But that's not, I don't know. Most people I know run the garbage disposal. I don't know what kind of cultural connection is with that, but I'll be curious. You guys can let me know in your comments whether you have a garbage disposal, and if you do you use it or do you just strain your stuff before you wash it? I find it's hard to get all the food bits off, and if I put like a mesh in there, it just gets filled really quick. So I don't know, I kind of like the garbage disposal. Okay. I will apologize for the landscapers, first of all. When I started setting up for recording, I thought it was going to be a lawnmower and weed whacker free day, but it was not. Hopefully it's not too loud. Moving along, though, we have some good old-fashioned baking soda. I don't remember if I'm trying to switch out my refrigerator one or my cooking one. I'll figure that out later, but I usually have 2 boxes on hand, one for odors and one for actual cooking. And I can't remember which box it was, but one of the boxes I had was quite old, and I was like, it's probably not that effective anymore. Get a new one. Next up, we have some red pepper tomato soup. Really do love this stuff. Superior to regular tomato soup, in my opinion. It's just got a little more zing to it. It's not like spicy or anything. Red pepper is not a spicy pepper, but I don't know. Variety is the spice of life. Then we have some shake and bake ranch and herb flavor. Just to add some variety to my chicken offerings. Because I have been buying, I think I have some somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. Right here. I have been buying these little flavor packets to flavor my chicken, and I enjoy them, but they are a bit expensive to buy. Depending on the store, they're like $1.25 to $2.25 for one flavor packet. I do like these a lot, but I figured throw in some shake and bake and see if I can't, lower my overall grocery bill just a little bit. And next up, we have quite a bit of leaf blower action going on. Oh, I swear, that's my landscaper's favorite tool in like the whole universe. And I would pause the recording and just pick this back up when they're done, but once they start, they're not done until like 5 p.m. So we're gonna have to record through it. Forgive me. Okay. Next up, we have not one, but 2 kinds of potatoes. I like to say it both ways. But we have some regular good old russet potatoes, some baking potatoes. And I got those because I did get a bee in my bonnet and I wanted to make twice baked potatoes, which is where you cook them once and you pull out all their innards and mix some cheese and sour cream and other goodies in there. I'll probably do bacon and jalapeno because that's kind of my MO. And then you set it back in the oven enough to make everything set, and it's delicious. Not very nutritious. Well, it's nutritious in that it's very calorie dense. But there's a lot of fat in it. But it's tasty. And anyways, we have even more potatoes. These are some good old Yukon Gold potatoes. And those are kind of my more standard potato that I use in this household. I use them for making fried potatoes or roasted potatoes or putting into soups. So I don't have definitive plans for the Yukon Golds, but I know they'll get used up. Following that, we have a lot of tomato-based products here. Got some good old tomato paste, which is very delicious. I love adding that to so many things. Oh, wait, those are kidney beans. That's not tomato. Here's tomatoes, some diced tomatoes. And I thought there was more. Yeah, here we are. Some good old tomato sauce. I wrote down my shopping list, and what I try to do is I write down a list of food I plan on preparing for the next couple of weeks, right? And then I make a grocery list from that. That's a very logical way to do it, I think. But I kept like tomato dish, and I must have just been in a very, very tomato kind of a mood, and I had to tell myself, just pick one or two tomato dishes, because by the time you get to cooking them, you might feel a little overwhelmed with all the tomato. But one of the dishes I will be doing probably next week is galumki. That is stuffed cabbage rolls. And my family on my mother's side, I'm like, can't remember, I think I'm 1/8 Polish or 1/4. Can't remember which. Like, just from my mom's side, I don't know what I got from my dad's side. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, so my grandfather, once upon a time, ages and ages ago, taught me how to make galumki. And he is getting old now, to the point where he needs care. And my mom does most of his care, but I help her out once a week by going over on Wednesdays to, give him food and give him company and help him with little things around the house. It's quite exhausting, but, it's good to help your elders. But one of the things I've noticed is that his relationship with food has changed a lot now that he's like this. He tends to eat a lot of cookies and a lot of hamburgers. So it can be hard to get him to eat vegetables and things like that. And most of the things I've brought over, like, I'll confess, I've only brought over a couple of things because I bring them over and he's just like, I wish I could tell you I like this, but I don't. He has no filter anymore. But I think his taste buds are just, they're not there anymore. So he needs very strong, like, a high sugar, high fat, blah, 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 kind of a taste to be happy. That's what I tell myself so that I don't feel insulted that he doesn't like my cooking. But he has told me I cook too healthy. I add too many vegetables. Okay, I'm getting off track here. So that's a long way to say I'm going to make these stuffed cabbage rolls like I used to make them and like he used to like, and see if he likes them. Because if he does, then I have a starting point for cooking for him more often, because past couple of times I just take him out to eat, which I think he prefers. I think he likes the fact that I'm getting him out of the house, so he's being over complaining about home cooked meals. Poor guy, he lives on his own, yeah. Anyways, so wish me luck that he likes the cabbage rolls. Okay. Moving on, we have some parsley flakes and some thyme. General cooking ingredients right there. And then we have a head of garlic. I go through a very surprising amount of garlic, I must say. No vampires are going to want to eat my blood, I'll tell you that. Oh, speaking of too many tomatoes, there was more tomato sauce. This is some traditional pizza sauce. And this is for the pizza casserole that I make about bi-monthly, I think. So, tomato, tomato, tomato. All right, so now we're already onto our cooler stuff. It is definitely a smaller grocery haul, but that's just the way this month planned out, or played out rather. But among our cooler items, we have some good old Italian parsley. I'm going to be making myself some more falafel. I did decide to just not buy the cilantro because I only use like a teeny tiny bit of it, and then the rest goes bad because I don't like cilantro on its own. So if I can taste it, it becomes too much. Which is funny because I don't mind a teeny tiny bit of it. Like if I can't identify it, then it just becomes part of the flavor. But anyways, so did not buy any cilantro. I hope it doesn't have too much of an impact on my falafel. I will just have to wait and see. And then I have a rather large bag of jalapenos today. I was sitting back and thinking about things I might make this month, and jalapenos just kept coming up as they do, and I embraced it. Unlike the tomatoes, I embraced all the jalapenos because I feel like my guy could eat infinite jalapenos as long as they're, prepared in a dish. And then next up we have some good old cauliflower. That'll be for our pizza casserole that I had mentioned earlier. On that note, we have some pepperoni for the aforementioned pizza casserole. We have one little grapefruit. I was kind of in the mood for grapefruit, but I saw that none of the ones in the store were ruby, which is my favorite. I'm not sure if it's like psychosomatic in that the darker, redder color makes me think it's tastier, or if maybe the red variety has, say, more sugar or a different flavor, composition. But I definitely like red grapefruit over the classic pink grapefruit. So I only got one of those. Then we have some string cheese. It's for my guy's lunches. He eats lots and lots of cheese. And then I have a red bell pepper. That's for my snacks. I am still trying to eat healthy. I succeed some of the time and I don't the rest of the time. But, even if you fail a little bit, there's no reason to not keep trying. Along that vein, we've got some celery, which is good for so many things. It's a tasty snack, and it's great in soup. So, celery is good. I got a little thing of sour cream. And I'm trying to remember offhand what I needed the sour cream for. And I'm drawing a blank. I mean, I like sour cream, but usually I buy it with a purpose in mind. Nah, I couldn't tell you. And then we have the good old cabbage head. So this is what I'll be wrapping my galumki with. We'll have to steam it first, and I'm going to try to steam it in the Instapot. So I'm being adventurous with not necessarily the type of or the recipe, but with the method of cooking. And then we have some pepper bacon. This is mostly for the breakfasts. I'm going to try to save it only for breakfasts. Breakfast-y? Breakfasts sounds funny. Because I do have the unwieldy odds and ends pieces that I use sometimes. It's a lot cheaper, so I buy it. But anyways, I have like half a pack of that in the freezer, kind of waiting in the wings, so to speak. And I'm going to try to use this for breakfast and use all of the odds and ends for the other things. Like, I think one of the things I'm going to do with all these jalapenos is make some good old-fashioned jalapeno poppers. And for the poppers, I'll use the other bacon. Really, it's hard saving money sometimes because it'd be so much more convenient to just buy the strip bacon for everything. Yeah. Okay. And then as a small treat for myself, I got some prosciutto, ham, basically. Prosciutto? I forget how the technical way to say it because it's Italian, right? But anyways, I do enjoy eating this stuff, but it is kind of expensive. And really, it's, it's got a lot of preservatives in it. Well, actually, this one only has salt, it says. So that's not too bad. But anyways, that's my little treat. And then wrapping out the whole grocery haul. Sorry, guys, it was very short. I have some good old-fashioned butter. Let's drag this out by thinking about what I'm going to use the butter for. I cook with butter a lot. We'll have pancakes again this weekend. It goes inside the twice baked potatoes. Yeah, just butter, generic old butter. So that is the grocery haul. So that was everything. It's a little short, but we still have shout outs, so the video's not quite over yet. So let's go ahead and shout out to Richard McCurdy, Dulce Crystal, Allison Comley, Max, Chubberina Whispers, Kendra, and Sharon. Which I've abbreviated some of those names because I got used to people's usernames, and then YouTube did this whole, like, you have a handle now, which is like a more specific thing, so you can like mention people and get the right person. And I feel like YouTube only needs to be YouTube. It doesn't need to be other social medias, but I guess that's just the way of the future, right? But thank you guys for commenting. You guys know that last month I was having these moments where I wondered if a hiatus from doing the channel would be a good thing for me. I think a lot of that was me being very burnt out by life in general. For my business, summer and early fall are they're my busy season. So doing extra stuff like videos it seemed overwhelming. And I'm working on that. And obviously I'm making this video right now. So I'm fairly confident I'll see you guys again next month. And interesting fact, so I got lots of lovely comments, but I've also gotten a surprising amount of new subscribers after the last month's video. It's like the universe telling me it's not time to quit yet. Which, still up for debate, but I'm here for the time being. So yeah, I'm going to stick with just the grocery haul once a month for a while. I know that some people have been suggesting like role plays and snapping, which I physically can't snap. I've tried, I've watched tutorials. I can't get because you're supposed to like have your finger hit the palm. I physically can't do it. But anyways, and I just wanted to say a blanket like statement of, go ahead and keep suggesting interesting projects, but it's probably going to be a long while before I do anything other than the one grocery haul a month that I commit to. So anyways, I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.